Welcome to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Kevin O'Sullivan. You watch us together on The Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan, where Kevin, we announced this before anyone else in the media. We had it first, as ever. Meghan Markle. Now, I wasn't aware that she was going to launch it within hours of our discussion, but a part of me wonders if we pushed her to it because it's clearly not ready to go.
It certainly isn't. You and I were talking one day after my show, where live you kind of revealed, you broke the news that suddenly American Riviera Orchard was no more, and that Meghan had renamed her long-term struggling lifestyle site as ever. Now, look, there's a couple of things. There's obviously loads of things to talk about here. But first of all, let's talk about the name. She's really weird. She doesn't understand the meaning of words or the meaning of phrases. So when she called her podcast series Archetypes, well, an archetype that's a derogatory term, archetypal, stereotype. So she tried to sort of raise that to some sort of, prestigious mantle. And now she's renamed American Riviera Orchard as ever. Now, how do you say as ever? You always go, as ever, as ever, as ever. It is not an upbeat kind of a phrase. So I think it's a terrible, terrible name. And it's a desperate measure as well, isn't it? I mean, she's going, oh, it's so great because, American Riviera Orchard tied me down. What is she talking about? What on earth is she? What do you mean tied you down? You mean you just plucked the name out of the ether and found yourself enmeshed, mired in loads of legal difficulties, and a whole year later, after untold legal battles, untold legal wrangles, obviously Netflix had turned around and said, tell you what, Meghan, let's just call it something else. And they've come up with As Ever, which is just the worst name ever, if I can say that. And what does it mean? And why has she suddenly done this now? And she's trying to frame it like, oh, it's so great. I was so tied down by American Riviera Orchard and Netflix have been so fantastic. Oh, this is fantastic. Marvelous. Marvelous. No, it's not. This is an absolute desperation measure, trying to get a dead duck off the ground, trying to resuscitate the world's worst business dead duck and make something of it late in life. Good luck with that. And then she goes on about what she's going to be selling, what it's all about. And basically, it's like nice things, nice things overpriced. Now, I think that the entire story of American Riviera Orchard, and now As Ever, is a metaphor for how it will struggle. The backstory is a nightmare, is a total mess. She launches it, nothing happens. 1 year on, nothing is for sale. She makes a sort of stupid video of her mucking around in a kitchen, and you think, well, what's she going to sell? She's still not selling anything. And we know she's had trouble getting suppliers. She's had lawyers all over her because of the name and due to other considerations as well. She's got nothing to sell. So all of a sudden, it's an emergency. All change. It's an emergency that's going on now. And she's acting like it's brilliant. This is what I always wanted. Isn't it fantastic? So, and
the cat's out of the bag. Like, no.
It's not what she's putting on Instagram now. It's just not true.
No, I think you're totally right. And would you believe me if I told you that a Spanish town is considering legal action against her because her logo looks so strikingly similar to their I'm sorry, I'm spacing on that the arms,
the town logo.
Coat of arms. They have a coat of arms, and so they're now considering suing her because they look identical, which is just classic Countess of copy, Countess Copycat. That I want to ask you about the video because you sent it to me earlier this morning. I don't know if it was before or after you had your breakfast. I'm worried about which one. But talk to me about Meghan calling Netflix her partners. You are an employee, Meghan. You can get fired at any second. Why? What is she trying? I feel like she's trying to stick it to people like us that are constantly critical of her when she calls Netflix her partners. She seeks the most bizarre validation.
Yeah, she wants like equal billing with Netflix as if they're working together. Well, what Netflix are doing right now are desperately trying to make any money, trying to recoup the vast amounts of money they've frankly wasted on the gruesome twosome, on Harry and Meghan. Yes, they've got some product out of it. You know, they got a reasonable documentary series, the Harry and Meghan series, but apart from that, they haven't really recouped any of their vast investment in this couple. So that's why Netflix, late in life, said, right, we've got this lifestyle show coming out with Love Meghan. Let's get involved in her products. Let's take American Riviera Orchard and see if we can make some money out of it. So they've definitely come in and said, right, we're tearing up the copybook. Forget about American Riviera Orchard. That name is dead because it's not working. New name. Let's launch. Let's start selling your jam in Texas and Philadelphia. See how we get on. Let's coincide it with your lifestyle show. And just maybe we might make some money. But who is calling the shots here? It's not her. It's not her. It is a massive business that is worried about losing a lot of money. She's doing what she's told, but she's acting almost as if she's in charge of Netflix, as if she somehow is Netflix's most valuable possession. She's a basket case for them, and they're hoping against hope at this late stage with this coinciding between the show and the jam on sale in Texas that just maybe they might make some money, but I think it's pretty desperate stuff. I think deep down they don't really expect this to work. And if they do, I've got very bad news for them. I think the chances of it working are extremely slim indeed.
That's the truth. Now, she announces this with I think her opening line with is the cat's out of the bag, and she goes on for the next few minutes to explain try to justify every hiccup she's had over the last few years. I don't let me forget to ask you about the line about how she hasn't been able to show people how she loves gardening, and she's not been able to over the last few years. I mean, the princess escaped the tower 5 years ago, Kevin. She's had plenty of time over the last 5 years to show us anything. They're lazy and unorganized. But does it strike you at all odd that the website is just an email collection site, which is the exact same thing we stared at for the last almost year at American Riviera Orchard.com? It reeks to me, like you suggested earlier, that we got wind of this and she wanted to kill the scoop. So she rushed to create this video, and she says, I want to tell you first. You can say I want to tell you first all you want, but you and I had a conversation about it hours before she released that video.
And it's also this sort of breathless little girl act. I'm so excited. I got my business. Oh, my business with my partners at Netflix. You know, she is not an excited little girl. She is a ruthless, calculating, failed businesswoman. I mean, let's underscore all of this. She's not very good at this stuff.
Yes.
She's not a particularly successful actress. She's a very, very unsuccessful documentary maker. She bought the rights to a film that hasn't been made. And this business venture of hers, which took the principle of the TIG, her lifestyle site when she was in Suits up in Canada, and tried to turn it into a big money-making machine. It's a fair enough idea. Now, as a sort of marginally successful actress in a cable show drama, little lifestyle site, as such, wasn't a failure. Quite nice to look at. turning it into an international global business. You know, some bimbo on the West Coast going, it's my jam, it's my honey. Oh, you want to buy some towels? No, not really. You know, I just can't see how it's going to work. So, everything about what she gave us in that video, everything that she now stands for, is a kind of falsity. You know, the latest desperate measure to try to make her ongoing procession line of failures actually work at last. Now, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it will work. But I suspect at Netflix Towers, they're not banking on it.
Um, yeah, I just want before anybody gets mad at you for calling her a bimbo, she called herself a bimbo on the Archetypes podcast regarding her Deal or No Deal gig. So I don't want anybody to be mad at you about that. What else was
I don't care if they are mad about me calling her a bimbo. That probably is a bit unfair, but hey ho, she puts herself in the public frame. You have to take the slings and arrows as well.
That's
So
true.
maybe that's a bit unfair, but I don't care.
Well, so I forgot to mention remember she did, according to Richard Eden, prematurely launch American Riviera Orchard to kill his scoop. So that was my point on the last question.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
could have mentioned that in my statement. But so you talking about how this is like rebrand number 35, basically is what you just said. Well, there was a quote in the Daily Mail. The title of the article is called Another Brand Disaster, where someone says, this is an expert, says, the more unpredictable she is, the harder it is to take her down. She's not trying to be Goop. She's trying to be a mystery. The product she's selling, endless curiosity about Meghan Markle. So maybe she's not losing control of her narrative. Maybe we are. I think she looks schizophrenic. And the only thing that has been interesting about her is her time within the British royal family. And she has said everything I think she's capable of saying about that. The royal family refuses to have anything to do with her going forward. And if she continued to talk negatively about the British royal family, the anger towards her would only get stronger. So she really is limited. We're not curious about her. It's like watching a train wreck. She left this really cush privileged life for what? You know, I think we had the reason we watch is because we can't believe what we're seeing.
Exactly right, Kinsey. And you mentioned the Daily Mail over here in London, and their headline on this story when she suddenly said, "Oh, it's brilliant! We've renamed it as ever." Their headline in a big national newspaper here in Britain was, "Is this Meghan's latest disaster?" You know that this is the scenario she finds herself in now. People just expect her to screw up, screw up, screw up, and then screw up again. And that's all she's done for the last couple of months. She's screwed up going to the Los Angeles fires badly. She's screwed up with that Billie Eilish video, absolutely ridiculous and tasteless. She screwed up at the Invictus Games by, frankly, stealing the limelight and making that excellent event all about her. So on it goes. And then suddenly we've got this again. So the narrative she finds herself in, this is what people are thinking about her, is how will this woman screw it up next? Is this Meghan's latest disaster? And you make a really good point as well, Kinsey. If we go to the big picture, you know, what was it now, 3-4 years ago? She was, you know, in effect a princess in, okay, Duchess, but you know what I mean, a princess in the castle in Britain, you know, living the dream. She really was a frontline royal, mixing with the Queen, living in palaces, flying around the world, doing amazing tours with her husband, whole life ahead of her. She didn't like that much. Here we are 4 years on. What's she doing?
Yeah.
Selling jam, and pretending that all's well in her world when it's just clearly not.
And the idea that she's basically plagiarized a coat of arms. She has with her logo that it could potentially inevitably be challenged in court. It gets no better than this. But
Again,
with American Riviera Orchard, I talked to a branding expert who had no opinion of Meghan Markle whatsoever, and she said, "I think it's odd that she's insisting on using something that looks so similar to, a royal crest for American Riviera Orchard. I think it was the calligraphy. The logo somehow
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
looked like her."
It is. It looks similar to a royal logo. Yeah, it is.
Yes, and so to me, I'd say to you, she has not been a royal longer than she was a royal.
Yeah.
What is the insistence from her? Is this the only thing that gives, in her mind, is this the only thing that gives her credibility, that she clings to this? Because it's hard for a lot of people to digest a woman that complained so much about an institution and was so hateful about an institution towards the last few years of the Queen's life, making it a living hell. For her then to make it her entire identity when she was a royal for like this long.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, she in this the video that she's made, she's so excited. Um, uh, she references, oh, at long last, I'm going to be able to share with you my love of gardening, of cooking, and so on and so forth. So the veiled reference there is that while she was a working royal here in amongst the repressive royal family, her wonderful artistic temperament was suppressed. And at long last, she can share her amazing talents with the world. I mean, I've got the same kind of talents as her. I can go in the kitchen and make some bread or some jam. This is not a business. Now, it would be if she was a very, very popular celebrity. So
Mm-hmm.
celebrities can get away with murder, in terms of what they can sell to the public.
Literally,
Because,
ask OJ Simpson.
yeah, because people love them. So they'll buy their product. Oh, this jam comes, with Tom Cruise on the. Oh, I like Tom Cruise. Oh, it's Paul Newman's salad dressing. I like Paul Newman. So on and so forth. Now, very successful stars can make money out of that, but you've got to be successful and you've got to be popular. May I humbly suggest she is neither? She's not successful and she's certainly not popular. So, trying to sell products on the back of a lack of success and a lack of popularity, good luck with that, Meghan. You're going to
And
need it.
she knows that she's not popular. What we were just talking about, it was that Tom Quinn's book that said Prince Harry was so ugly when he was with her because he was being protective of her because he knew people didn't like her. She turns her comments off on her Instagram posts. That is a person that knows that in incoming, like she's hiding from something. She knows that, and you're right. It's so bizarre to me that she wants to go this specific route, even though she tells us in this video, well, if you know anything about me, I love gardening. I love this. If you look at her success, any type of success that she does have, and she does have success, we'll give her that. When she wears something, oftentimes it sells out. Why would you not go in the direction of fashion? Because that's kind of a no-brainer. And yeah, she looks good in this thing, so I'm going to buy it. But it feels so intentional to go in the preserves direction when that's something that King Charles and Queen Elizabeth have done for years within the royal family. It feels so blatantly intentional. Like she is so angry that she couldn't make it. So she is going to show them that she's going to compete with them in whatever space she can. But would make so much more sense to me if she just lingered in the fashion world, because yeah, people like what she wears and they'll go buy it, and okay. But to make jam and all this, it just to me reeks of continuing to try to compete with the royal family across the pond.
That's a really good point. The kind of range of products she's got are the kind of things you can buy in Duchy Original shops. Now, Duchy's Original, which is King Charles's, when he was the Prince of Wales, that was his range of biscuits, cookies, and jam and things like that. Very home producey, farm produce. Now, that's a good example of what I was talking about. Now, Dutch's original products are notorious. I mean, they are astronomically expensive. You know, like 3 times as much. A pack of
I paid $5 for an orange juice at Windsor Castle that was from Sandringham.
well, exactly. Yeah,
An apple
a
juice, apple juice.
pack of cookies, 3 times as much as a normal pack of cookies. But it works. When the king was the Prince of Wales, he had a massive income. I mean, millions and millions and millions of pounds a month, not a year, a month, because he's popular, because people like him. They want to buy his products with the royal crest on. She's trying to replicate that with pretend royal crests and pretending that she's popular. It
Yeah.
won't work because she's not popular. In terms of fashion, I think the difficulty there would be that will cost her a lot of money. You know, I
Mm.
mean, what do you sell? Do you create your own range? Do you hook up with a big label like Gucci or someone? How does that go? I think it's a difficult
Well,
area.
I also think, to your point about the Gucci, I don't think those big brands want anything to do with her
Well,
because her brand has become so toxic. Remember when they leaked that she was talking to Dior and she never had a deal with Dior, but Prince Harry showed up in Dior at the Queen's funeral. Remember
yeah,
that?
yeah, exactly. Uh, you remember also this is the point. About, I think it must be 2 years ago now, maybe a year and a half, it was revealed that that's when she was talking about deal, but she was on the cusp, another one of her plans that never came out, that she was going to become an influencer and
Yeah.
would be the first internet or social media influencer to charge $1 million per post. And people go, oh my God. And she started giving interviews saying, I just didn't realize, that all I've got to do is promote something and it can make so much money. This is the direction I'm going to go in. And then did we see her getting any influencer deals? No,
No.
she didn't get any deals at all. And I'll tell you why. It's because the companies want to use influencers. They want to make sure that those influencers are almost universally popular. If these influencers divide the room, even if they got 50-50, they got 50% mad supporters, 50% haters. Influencer companies don't want to know,
Yeah.
because if you have detractors, it's not going to work. That's why, in my view, she's never done any influencing, because no one in the influencing world wants to know her, because there are too many people who are going to come in and, frankly, excuse the language, piss all over whatever she posted.
Well, I can tell you that she is still, you're referring to the New York Times interview where she says she's a dolphin, not a shark when it comes to Shark Tank. And she talks about how she invests in certain brands, wears them. And we joked about how she truly is investing in herself because she invests in the clothes, she wears the clothes, and then we believe, I believe, I don't know if you're on board with me, that inevitably those same brands will end up on asever.com, so that she is making money in all sorts of ways,
Yeah.
whether it be affiliate links or whatever over here on the website. By the way, asever.sucks was available last night and I purchased it. So that does exist now. It heads you straight over to
I'll tell you what,
todayfordaily.com.
you're just reminding me now. Let's reflect for a second. As ever, it's a terrible name. It's terrible. Who came up
It's
with
like what you said, it's a last ditch effort.
as
Was the
ever?
last name on the list on a long list that she came up with, but I do think I just saw an article in Forbes about some of the clothes she wore at the Invictus Games. I think she is trying to force the influencer narrative through mainstream media, and she
Yeah.
is cultivating these little yes women that will cater to the lovey-dovey Meghan, this Meghan sweet stories, and she's pushing them to write these articles about some of the brands that she is again investing in. So it's not organic. It's not like the Princess of Wales wearing something, Catherine wearing something to support the city she's in, wearing a local artist to support the city she's in. Meghan is supporting pieces that she has personally invested in. So if you wear them, if you go buy it, she gets a kickback, and that's hard. It's not as it's kind of yucky.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit low rent to say the least. And again, what we were saying earlier, 3, 4 years ago. There she was, a frontline member of the British royal family, the most famous family on the face of the earth. Fulfilling important functions. And now what is she doing? Trying to sell dresses and flog jam. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a downward trajectory that it's hard to get your head around. But if we fast forward now, it is what, a couple of weeks, less than 2 weeks before With Love Meghan comes out on Netflix. Jury very much out on that. I suspect the first episode will do quite well. And then I think it will be the law of diminishing returns. I think fewer and fewer people will watch that because I'll guarantee it'll be boring. She's swallowed a bucket full of boring pills. She's never able not to be boring. So I guess that series could be troubled. Now, if that series does, like Polo, sink without trace, where is she left then? I mean,
I mean,
as
she truly is left just trying to be an influencer. And that is so sad because for years, you and I had to go on TV and listen to the debates or debate about whether or not this woman could potentially run for president. And now she's going to be selling us diaper rash cream on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. So it's how the mighty have fallen. But she doesn't seem to be noticing that. I mean, with each new desperate step down, she makes a video and says how exciting it all is.
There's something, I don't know if you believe in astrology, but I've been watching some of the astrologers I follow on social media, and they all keep saying it's the time to be delusional. Right now, with the way the stars are aligned, it's the time to be delusional. And all I could think when I was watching that Meghan Markle video was she got the memo. She is so delulu right now.
Yeah, she really is. And it also reveals a sort of really intense, deep level of narcissism.
Yeah.
She's obsessed with her own success. Now, she's got a nice life there with a royal husband who's bringing in them. He's got money, they're not going to starve. She could have the nicest life, but she wants to be the star of that family. She's obsessed with Meghan Markle. Meghan's going to be a star. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to make a fortune. The story here in Montecito will be all about me. But it never will be. It's always going to be about Harry, who, whatever she does, and I bet she hates this, he'll always be, or he is still now fifth in line to the throne. He'll always be a senior member of the British royal family, and she'll always be, someone
Wallace Simpson.
someone who used to be in Suits.
Yeah, ordeal or no deal.
Yeah, ordeal or no ordeal. That's her life.
Yeah. So what do you think I guess my real big question is that was eating at me all last night was, do you think Meghan Markle watches our interviews? And do you think that's why she released as ever yesterday when she did?
Well, I did hear that you and I do make a certain list at Montecito Towers. And it's the kind of list that SHIT list. I think we're
not a Christmas card list, not a
Christmas. I think we're number one in the charts.
Well, I guess all eyes will be on Netflix on March 4th, and we'll have to wait and see when and if any products ever actually come to fruition. All of this leaked because somebody accidentally published a Shopify webpage too soon. So that's how we found out about As Ever, an accidentally leaked Shopify page. Somebody pressed published prematurely. And so I'm sure somebody had a reaming yesterday. I'm sure there was an absolute butt chewing that took place in Montecito, but that's just a typical Tuesday over there. And
I reckon this is what a scene you're going to see in about a year's time. It'll be Meghan in Montecito. I'm so excited. I've gone bankrupt. And here's my partners, the bankruptcy lawyers. We're working together. It's going to be so great. It's so great. Haven't got any money left. Everything has failed. So excited.
But for really seriously, a serious question before I let you go, and thanks so much for your time. Do you think that Netflix is the financial backer here, and Meghan is accepting no, or Meghan has no risk associated. Because if so, shame on Netflix and shame on their investors. If I were an investor, I'd be pitching a fit right now.
Well, it's like you discussed on, I think, our last recollection session, when we were kind of surprised that Bella Bajaria, who's the chief content officer of Netflix, was gushing about how excited she was about With Love and Meghan and working with Meghan in the future and Harry and all that. We were a bit surprised that she seemed so publicly excited. Well, this is only my speculation, and I know you kind of agree with me, but this is a big company, a big corporation, trying to put a gloss on something that really isn't very successful. Companies don't go around going, you know what, we got this With Love Meghan coming out on March the 4th. It'll probably tank. It's no good. I don't think she's much cop. They would never say that.
And so actions speak louder than words. They didn't even acknowledge Meghan at their upfronts.
Yeah. Well, what I think is going on here is they're trying to put a gloss over the decline of their contract with Harry and Meghan. They've still got this contract. So there's no harm in trying this tie-up between With Love Meghan and putting the products on sale in Dallas and Philadelphia, see if they sell, try to flog them on this new website, which is now called As Ever. So it's a rearguard action to try and recoup some money. I don't think they're actually investing that much more. I don't think they're investing any more in it. They're just hoping for the best. And if it all fades away to nothing, Netflix will fade away and it'll be one more story to file in their failure cabinet. I mean, not everything works. Entertainment is a dicey business, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I hope it works for Meghan, but as of now, Kinsey, I don't think it's looking very good.
Well, we will be on top of it. We will stay on top of it.
Every step of the way.
Yeah, we'll give you the play-by-play. Agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And Kevin and I will have the absolute latest on the political asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan on Thursday. So tune in and watch us there, because the story's only getting crazier. Now there are potential lawsuits regarding a logo. So what can tomorrow's news be? We'll see.
Be a new name for it, won't there? As Never or something.
What everybody's saying, it should be called Whatever, which
I like that. I like that. Whatever.
All right, we'll talk to you guys again soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.